I was 18 years old and I had the opportunity to go to World Youth Day, and I remember being there. I had had, prior to that, some experience with the Legionaries and with the Consecrated Women, and more than anything it was just a certain fascination with their life and this dedication of their entire lives to God. I'd never thought about anything like that before, and it was a random moment. I was going from one activity to the other. It was prior to seeing the Holy Father. And I was in a moment of transition myself because I had just graduated from high school and I was going into college, and I had these, I guess you'd say, aspirations of wanting to live more coherently my faith. And I was just talking to Jesus. I was just walking from one place to the other, and I remember saying, Jesus, I want to live more for you. I don't know what it is that I need to do, but I want to live more for you when I go to college and be more, convicted in my faith. And in that moment, I just received this invitation. I don't know how to explain it because it wasn't anything audible. It was just this question, like, what if you were to give your whole life to me? What if you were to be consecrated? And it kind of startled me. I just remember it startled me. I knew it wasn't coming from me. I knew it wasn't my thought. It was something that I felt like perhaps it was from God, but it couldn't be from God because I already had what I knew I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to get married. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to have 7 kids, preferably all boys. Like, I had a little bit of a plan for myself, and but that voice or that kind of question didn't leave me. It just sort of stayed there with me. And it was only, I guess, probably like months later that I was still, the question had already, it couldn't go away. Like, once the question was raised, it was still in my heart. And I remember talking to a priest and sharing this with him. Like, I never thought about a vocation before, but now I don't know how to know. And the priest just asked me one question. He just said, what would you say if God were to ask you? And in that moment, I think it was a grace, because in that moment I experienced in my heart and in my whole person just how loved I am. And God has always been so good to me, and He's always been so close to me, and He's good. And so if this is something that He wants, even though I don't see it so clearly right now, I would have to say yes. I don't know, it was just like this moment of grace, and it even filled me with joy. Like, I think I would have to say yes. Not a forced yes, but this is what He would want for me, and He's good. So that was, I think it was a grace. I still wasn't ready to accept that. I still needed to go to college and to work through my own life, you know. I had to mature a little bit, I think, but that was a special moment of grace, and I think maybe the seed was sown there. I was startled. Like, I was like, God, you couldn't want that for me because that would make me miserable, right? Like, that's not what I would choose for myself. Right, so I know that was an experience of feeling quite overwhelmed, and I think that's why I needed more time. Like, I think He needed to just, He was so gentle with me, and it wasn't the moment, right? But it was almost like the initial invitation. That's how I would describe it. But I needed more time to really let it settle, and I think He needed to just show, like, more situations and circumstances that just confirmed that. Not that I ever had like an absolute, like, this is a call from God. It was like little by little I was seeing He's put this in my life, He's put this desire in my heart, and then it was actually like a decision that was completely left up to me. Like, I had to make an option to say, I think this is what you're asking of me. I don't have absolute certainty, but I have a certain amount of certainty, and I need to just say yes, right? I think it was more my conscience was bothering me, because I felt I have to I have to see. Like, I can't just keep living with this, you know, when you're in this time of, I mean, you experienced it, but it's almost like this vocational restlessness, and I wasn't settled. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like this experience of, I can't keep living with this thought that doesn't go away, but that I'm not resolving because I'm not looking more deeply into it. Like, yes, I'm bringing this, I'm praying, but it was sort of this unsettled, agitated, almost agitated. Like, I remember one time I came out of my room and I was studying, and I stayed with my brother. We were at college, but we were in the same apartment. And I came out of my room and I was like, Chris, I want to be a doctor. And he's like, well, Kathleen, you can be a doctor. You just need to apply yourself. You just need to study. And I was like, you don't understand. What if God doesn't want me to be a doctor? Like, this was the restlessness. Like, I could not be settled, you know? So I think that's where I just got to the point where I was like, I need to really see, and I need to look at this more deeply. Went to Rhode Island. I mean, I went there, I went on a retreat. I think deep down in my heart, I just knew there was a part of me that was like, I don't want to go, because if I go, I know I'm going to stay. Like, I know that this is what he's asking of me, and I don't want to confront it. But then anyway, I ended up, because my conscience was like, I just felt I needed to resolve it, I decided to go, and once I got there, yeah, just a lot of, I think he gave me the gift of peace. Like, I just really experienced peace, being at home. Yeah, I don't know how to describe that, but it was the space where I actually said the yes. Like, I think I had the time, and more time of prayer, and more time of, like, even the classes that they had on consecrated life and what this was. I just realized I needed to make a decision before God. So in the chapel there, I just went before him, and I made that heartfelt prayer of, like, Lord, I think this is what you're asking. I don't have absolute certainty, but I feel a need to just say yes. And in that moment, when I said yes, that was also another, it was almost repetitive of the year before, of that initial experience. It was this experience of, yeah, like, who am I that he has chosen me to belong just exclusively to him.